What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Wednesday, January 1st. We're going to be breaking down every NBA game tonight and looking at bets on the side and over-under, and I might be back in the afternoon to throw some player props in the pinned comment once injury reports are confirmed. As far as a recap there for New Year's Eve, guys, not too many of the games are over at time of recording. We got the Milwaukee game correct. They ended up winning that one 120 to 112. So very good stuff there so far, 1-0 in our pinned comment play. So hopefully that trend can continue, guys. I really appreciate everybody coming over to the new channel. This is the secondary channel. Had some issues with the first one, so we're going to be uploading here on the secondary channel for the time being. I appreciate everybody hitting that subscribe button, liking these videos, commenting down below, letting me know anything you want to say about these. Really helps out a ton with the algorithm. We're doing great numbers already. We're well over 1,000 subscribers, so thank you so very much. And I appreciate you guys helping me have a happy new year here right out of the gates. If you want to win all of your bets today, like I said, hit that like button. Also, guys, you want to head over to stumpthespread.com. They sponsor all of our videos. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, covering NFL, NBA, NCAA football, UFC, NHL, and NCAA basketball. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Orlando Magic going on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons. Orlando comes into this game 20-14 on the season, guys. They're fresh off a 102 to 101 win there over the Nets. So good stuff there. At every win that Orlando can get right now with all three of their best players out, or at least 3 out of their 4 best players out, is definitely a big deal. De Silva continues to play great. That rookie's having a very good season. Jalen Suggs, kind of a down night from him, only played 13 minutes in the game. So yeah, that Jalen Suggs situation, definitely something we're going to be monitoring here, but a very nice day out there for Orlando in general. They come into this game with both Anthony Black and Jalen Suggs there on the injury report. Anthony Black dealing with his back issue. He's officially questionable for this game, so we'll see if he ends up playing. He, was dealing with back spasms, so there's a good chance he'll be back for this one. Jalen Suggs dealing with a wrist injury. He's going to be probable for this game, but I am a little bit worried about how effective he's going to be. A wrist injury can definitely be a problem. Obviously, it can affect your scoring. I mean, it's his right wrist, so yeah, a little bit worried about Jalen Suggs in this exact situation. So we'll see what Orlando can do going on the road in this one to take on the Pistons, who are 14-18 on the year. They're fresh off a tough 134 to 121 loss there at Denver. Obviously not the easiest place to play, and yeah, we saw Cade Cunningham not have his best night. 17 points there, also 17 from Jaden Ivey. As a team, Detroit shot only 30% from three-point range. Not generally going to get the job done in this matchup. Malik Beasley continues to play great. He's had an amazing season, especially by his standards. So we'll see if they can bounce back a little bit after a tough loss. I mean, they did, have a slight rebounding edge. They really just didn't have any answers out there for Jamal Murray, who had his best game of the season, and Jokic, who played extremely well as well. So we'll see what they can do here in terms of their injury report. They're looking very healthy for this game. They've had plenty of time off. The Pistons are 1.5-point favorites in this game. They're playing at home, obviously. We've got a total of 213. Orlando 7-10 against the spread on the road. They are 2-3 against the spread with a rest disadvantage. Detroit is 5-8 against the spread at home, so nothing amazing, but they're 1-3 against the spread with a rest advantage, but they are 11-6 against the spread when they're coming off a loss, and I think this is a great spot to back the Detroit Pistons. Orlando's just running out of steam here. Too many guys are injured. I think we're going to see, struggles there from Suggs as he deals with a wrist injury, and I think this is a great spot to be backing the Detroit Pistons. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Bulls. They're going on the road to take on the Washington Wizards. The Bulls are 15-18 on the season, but they've won their last 2 in a row. A win against the shorthanded Bucks, and then their last time out getting a 115 to 108 win there against the Hornets. So good stuff there. Kobe White played well in the game, leading the team with 23 points. We didn't see Zach LaVine in this game, but they still managed to come away with the win, and things looked pretty good. I mean, obviously Kobe White playing well, and them getting a win despite shooting 30% from the field, not a bad thing. It did take them overtime against the Hornets, so that's maybe not the best look, but Chicago, not exactly a team poised for greatness this season. They come into this game relatively banged up, guys. Zach LaVine on the injury list with that toe issue. I don't think they're going to be rushing him back. Dosunmu, he's been out recently as well. He's dealing with that calf issue, and he's been ruled out of this game. So, yeah, it's not going to be the full strength Chicago Bulls here as they go on the road to take on the Wizards, who obviously not having the best time. They did play one close game there against the Knicks before getting blown out in their second second game against the Knicks. That little 2-game series they had in Washington. Winning neither game. They're sitting at 5-25 on the season, poised for another horrible season. Just not loving what we're seeing from Washington right now, guys. Jordan Poole on the injury list. Carlton Carrington also on there. We do see, Kyle Kuzma. He's playing. Sarr is playing as well, so I guess there's some positives. Poole dealing with that hip issue. He's questionable. And Carrington, guys, he's dealing with a head injury. He is questionable as well. So we'll see what happens with the Wizards here. I mean, they're getting 4.5 points playing at home. We've got a total of 236.5. Chicago, 9-7-1 against the spread on the road. They're 5-8-1 against the spread after a win. Washington, 7-10 against the spread at home, and 5-9-1 against the spread when playing on equal rest. Guys, I'm leaning towards the Bulls here. Maybe Zach LaVine comes back and plays, and we end up loving this spot. But regardless, the Wizards are terrible. I know this seems like a spot that could maybe come away with a win, but if you're getting, if you can get the Bulls against the Wizards, any team against the Wizards really as less than a 5-point favorite, you have to at least put that one into consideration. Next on the docket, guys, we got the New Orleans Pelicans going on the road to take on the Miami Heat. The Pelicans come into this game 5-28 on the season, so they are straight up not having a good time. They've been playing some close games lately, a very close loss there against the Clippers their last time out, losing 116-113. Obviously, this has been a season from hell for the Pelicans, but they're showing a little bit of pride lately. We did like what we saw from CJ McCollum in that loss. 8 of 14 from three-point range, 33 points from him. 18 from Herb Jones, 18 from Trey Murphy III. The bench continues to not look great. Dejounte Murray, obviously, he did a lot of good things in that game. I'm not going to talk bad about him. I mean, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists in 6 steals in the loss. He did everything he could out there. It just wasn't quite enough there in the end for, not a very good Pelicans team. They do come into this game relatively healthy, obviously without Brandon Ingram and Zion. Like, this isn't what this team was supposed to be, but in terms of who they've had recently, they've got pretty much everybody available. So we'll see what they can do here as they go on the road to take on the Miami Heat, who are coming off a big emotional win over the Rockets, where we saw, that crazy fight, Hero getting thrown to the ground, Terry Rozier going in and really, taking care of business there. It was pretty crazy stuff, guys. I mean, they came away with a 104-100 win. Tyler Hero had a big game, 27 points, 10 of 17 there from the field. He played really, really well. He was a plus 13. We didn't see, anything too crazy from anybody else on the Heat. I mean, 18 points from Jovic off of the bench definitely feels pretty good. And the Heat won this game despite shooting only 30% from three-point range. So a very nice day out there from Miami. They come into this game relatively healthy. Obviously, Terry Rozier is suspended right now. But other than that, we see Hero ready to go. Duncan Robinson is questionable. I think he probably plays through that foot injury. Jimmy Butler should be good to go, although all the trade rumors swirling around him is certainly a concern. And I don't even know if he'll actually end up playing in this game or what his motivation level is going to be like. So a little bit of a questionable situation developing right now for the Miami Heat. So looking at the numbers, I'm a little bit surprised to see the Heat as 9-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 221.5. The Pelicans are only 3-12 against the spread on the road. That's an NBA worst road mark. Miami 7-7 against the spread at home, but they are only 5-10 against the spread after a win. Guys, I think this is a great spot to buy very, very low here on the New Orleans Pelicans, getting 9 points here against a Miami team that really doesn't have that much firepower at the moment. I do expect Hero to have another big game, but they're going to be in a big emotional letdown spot after that crazy win there that they just had, against that absolutely, insane Rockets team. And I mean, it's not like the craziest look-ahead spot ever, but they are going to be playing against the Pacers, and this is the first half of a back-to-back. So go ahead and give me the Pelicans here, getting 9 points. I think this is a very good spot to be on New Orleans. Next up, guys, we got the Utah Jazz. They're going on the road to take on the New York Knicks. The Jazz come into this game 7-24 on the season. They've lost their last 4 in a row, though, including a loss against the Trailblazers, which doesn't look particularly great. This is obviously a team that should be in sell mode right now. They're trying to tank things out. There's no real incentive for them to be trying to win games right now, and they want to be improving this team and building around Lauri Markkanen down the stretch. Who on this roster they really want to keep in order to do that, that remains to be seen, guys. I mean, I think dudes like Colin Sexton, Keontae George, Walker Kessler should all be very much involved in these trade rumors. So we'll see what happens down the stretch for the Jazz, but clearly not a team that's motivated to win games right now. We do see John Collins out right now. He is currently dealing with that hip issue. He is doubtful for this game, and I would be floored to see him eventually, play in this game. He's another one of their, prime trade pieces. So we'll see what happens here as they go on the road to take on the Knicks, who are playing through, a couple pretty bad teams in a row, and now they get to face the Jazz. They just beat the Wizards 2 games in a row, a close game, and then a 20-point blowout. Now they have to take on the Jazz. Hart had a triple-double in that last win against the Wizards. Karl-Anthony Towns had 32 points. They played really well. I mean, they're coming off of an 8th straight win, so the Knicks definitely cruising. They are relatively healthy coming into this game, but we do see Jalen Brunson on the injury report. He right now is, dealing with a calf injury. He played heavy minutes in, that easy win against the Wizards. So we'll see what happens in this one if he plays. I mean, I think it's pretty likely that he plays. And looking at the numbers, it also appears like he's going to play. I mean, the Knicks are 14.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 231. The Jazz are actually 10-7 against the spread on the road. The Knicks are 7-6-1 against the spread at home. I honestly don't have much of a read on this game if I'm being completely honest. I do kind of like the Jazz here getting 14.5 points. They're another big underdog, but our big underdog of Toronto last night didn't work out, although that didn't go anywhere near the pinned comment, and neither will this game. So give me a slight lean towards the Jazz and the points, but this is a stay away spot for me for sure. Moving right along here, guys, we're looking at the Brooklyn Nets going on the road to take on the Toronto Raptors. The Nets are 12-20 coming into this game. They're fresh off of losing 4 out of their last 5. They just had a 1-point loss there at the Orlando Magic. Yeah, that was a tough one, guys, losing that game with 1.3 seconds left. Not like the Nets are necessarily a team that's trying to be super competitive this year, but they've kept some games close. They've won some games. They've done some positive things out there, and seems like a team that's still playing with some pride. They just reacquired, I guess, D'Angelo Russell. So we'll see, how he fits in immediately. I think he's going to be getting some shots up there for the Nets. Cam Thomas still out. Zaire Williams still out. Cam Johnson, though, still there in the mix and playing really, really well this season. And, Nick Claxton, a solid big man. So we'll see what Brooklyn's plans are down the stretch this season. Right now, they've been playing relatively well. I've got to give them at least a little bit of credit. We'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Raptors, who are fresh off of a massive, massive blowout loss. They lost 125-71 against the Celtics. That's an embarrassing one, guys. Toronto, obviously a team that's tanking it out this season, but my God, that's pretty bleak. Their last couple of games have been just insane. Maybe 3 games have been insane blowouts. So definitely think the Raptors are in something of a bounce back spot, but we're a little bit worried about them health-wise, guys. Grady Dick on the injury report here. He did not play against Boston, and they're playing on back-to-back nights here. So I don't know if he's going to be playing in this one with a hamstring issue. And RJ Barrett, guys, is still with that undisclosed issue that kept him out of that game on Tuesday against Boston. So we'll see if he plays in this one. Seems a little bit unlikely to me. So could be a pretty short-handed Raptors team. Looking at the numbers here, Toronto's getting 1 point. We've got a total of 121.5. Brooklyn, 12-5-1 against the spread on the road. Very good road team. They are 11-7-1 against the spread after a loss. Toronto's actually 11-5-1 against the spread at home, so a very good home team, but that's a number that's starting to fall off. They're also 4-2 against the spread on no rest, and they're 15-9-1 against the spread coming off a loss themselves. But a lot of those numbers were, piled up by a different conglomeration of guys. So I'm looking at taking the Nets here, -1 on the road. I think D'Angelo Russell is going to be out for a little bit of vengeance, to prove that he's actually, a worthwhile asset in the NBA. But also, bro might just be a little bit depressed. We'll see if this one makes it into the pinned comment, guys. But I definitely think this is a spot you want to be on the Nets, despite the fact they're playing on the road. That hasn't really been a problem for them this season anyway. Next up, we've got the Dallas Mavericks. They're going on the road to take on the Houston Rockets. The Mavs come into this game losers of 2 in a row. They lost against the Trailblazers. That's a big yikes. And then they lost 110-100 their last time out at the Sacramento Kings. They continue this road trip. Things looking a little bit sketch. Dinwiddie did put up 30 points in that loss against Sacramento. PJ Washington had 28. Kyrie did not play in that game, and yeah, this is looking like a shell of the team Dallas was hoping they would have, for the whole season here. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, things looking pretty freaking bleak right now for the Mavs. Luka's out right now. Kyrie should be back. Derek Lively, he is, still dealing with that hip issue. He's questionable for this game. We see, Najee Marshall, he's been suspended. He, going to be out for 4 games, so will not be back for this one yet. So definitely going to be a little bit of a short-handed team there for the Dallas Mavericks as they go on the road to take on these Rockets, who have now lost 2 in a row. They had that crazy fight game against the Heat that they ended up losing. So yeah, down to 21-11 on the season. Not too bad by any stretch, but we are a little bit worried about what we're seeing from Houston at the moment. They come into this game, obviously Amen Thompson is suspended. Tari Eason is going to be missing time here. He was out for that game with a lower leg issue, and he's questionable for this game against the Mavs. But other than that, they are healthy. So technically, Houston has their entire starting lineup rested and ready to go. So I'm expecting a little bit of a bounce back here from them. I mean, the Rockets are -5 in this game. We've got a total of 222.5. Dallas, 9-8-1 against the spread on the road. They're 7-4-1 after a loss, but all those stats kind of go out the window when you're so banged up. Houston, 10-6 against the spread at home. They are 7-3 against the spread after a loss, and 4-1 against the spread when they have a rest advantage. Guys, give me the Rockets here to bounce back and get the win and cover. I love them here at -5. This is definitely a play that's going straight into the pinned comment. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Atlanta Hawks going on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. The Hawks come into this game playing well, winners of 4 in a row, so that's nice. We do see Larry Nance is going to have a surgery on his hand, so that's not ideal news, but coming off blowout wins over the Raptors, a nice one over the Heat, a nice one over the Bulls. Like, this team is kind of cruising along right now, so we're liking what we're seeing from Atlanta. We do see Trae Young and Dyson Daniels both on the injury report, though, so that's going to be a big deal. Trae Young, probable to play in this game. He's, been dealing with that right Achilles tendonitis, but he should be back and good to go. Dyson Daniels, he's dealing with an illness. He's also probable for this game, so he should be back and also out there after missing just one game. So looks like this is basically going to be the full strength Atlanta Hawks going on the road to take on a Denver Nuggets team that's suddenly looking a little bit better, but playing games against the Pistons and Jazz. That's going to do that. That's going to make you look quite a bit better. They do have a blowout win against the Hawks, a couple of weeks ago, so that probably gives them a little bit of reason for optimism. I mean, in that game, Jokic had 48 points. It was a crazy game. It was not the full strength Atlanta Hawks, so they're going to be out for some vengeance in this game, no doubt about that. Denver obviously coming off that nice win against the Utah Jazz. Westbrook has been looking amazing for this team. A lot of things pointed in the right direction for Denver, who hasn't had the best season. We do see Aaron Gordon out for this game, or at least was out for his last one. Or no, he's confirmed out for this one. Yeah, will not be playing in this game, dealing with that calf issue, and they're not going to be rushing him back from that in any fashion. So we'll see when he gets back. But other than that, they are healthy and ready to go for this game. Jamal Murray's coming off of a big game, something that has been a rarity for him. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They're 4.5-point favorites playing at home. We've got a total of 245 out there. Atlanta, they're 8-7 against the spread on the road, 8-9 against the spread after a win. Denver, 6-7-1 against the spread, and 7-9-1 against the spread after a win. Guys, I don't know if this is going in the pinned comment. I'm very excited to watch this game, but I'm leaning towards the Atlanta Hawks and the points here. I think Denver's in for a big letdown spot. This is a big revenge spot for Atlanta. They're about to, they're coming up against a team that blew them out the last time they played. So I think we see the Hawks bounce back a little bit, despite the fact they're playing at altitude here against Denver, and maybe they could even steal a win in this game, but I'll go ahead and take those 4.5 points with the Hawks. This has an outside chance to end up in the pinned comment. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Philadelphia 76ers going on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings. The 76ers come into this game, guys, 13-17 on the season, fresh off a 125-103 demolition there of the Portland Trailblazers. Big game from Embiid. Shocker that he comes back to play against a terrible team and dominates. 37 points. Cool. Maybe you should try playing against a real NBA team next time, but we'll see what goes on. Paul George, 9 points, continues to look terrible. Tyrese Maxey, 23 points, looked very good. Yabusele looked really good, 16 points off the bench, but I'm not going to take this 76ers team seriously until they get, back to 500 and until we see Embiid playing. I don't care if the dude misses back-to-backs, but when you're just picking and choosing and every game you seem to pick comes against a terrible team, I'm going to start asking some questions about what your whole goal is here. So not loving what I'm seeing from the 76ers. We do see KJ Martin going to be out for this game. Joel Embiid also listed as out for this game. Huge shocker. They're going to be resting. So yeah, won't be playing in this one. Neither will KJ Martin. He, is dealing with a stress reaction in his left foot, so definitely something you want to be paying attention to there. They're going on the road to take on the Kings, who are 14-19 on the season, coming off of a desperately needed win there against the Mavs. Obviously, it was a win against the Mavs, very much not at full strength. No Kyrie, no Luka, so not the full strength Mavs, but they did get a win, and they needed it bad. De'Aaron Fox, a big game, 33 points. DeMar DeRozan, only 14 points. Sabonis, 17 points, 16 boards, 7 assists. So very good stuff. They dominated the boards, so on and so forth. Liked what we saw from Sacramento there, and they're kind of getting a chance to run it back against a similar level of team. It's going to be a team missing their by far best player. So we'll see what they can do out there. They're relatively healthy. Keegan Murray, the guy who hasn't been able to throw it in the ocean recently this season, he's doubtful for this game due to left ankle soreness. That doesn't bother me whatsoever. What does bother me is how bad having DeMar DeRozan in this team, really seems to mess up their spacing and their shooting. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but otherwise feeling pretty good about the Kings here, and 7 points doesn't seem like too bad of a price. Philadelphia being banged up is a very big part of this, and Paul George playing so bad is a big part as well. So go ahead and give me the Kings here at -7. I mean, they're only 5-13-1 against the spread at home, so I'm worried about that. But the 76ers, guys, just not the same team without Embiid. So give me a slight lean towards the Kings in a game that is certainly not going in the pinned comment. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Happy New Year. Hope you celebrated safely tonight/last night, depending on when you're watching this video. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to this channel. This is the new secondary channel, so very few people are subscribed over from the old one. So definitely take a second, check, and make sure you're subscribed here so you don't miss any of these videos. The weekend is coming. We'll have football plays up here very, very soon. So definitely take a minute and just check and make sure you're subscribed over here. I appreciate everybody's support in this, weird time we've got going on right now. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to get over to stumpthespread.com and check out all of our premium content over there and our free picks that get posted over there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.